One of my recollections is fantastic games that you brought to the school, pin guard and bombardment, and
Oh,
these fantastic physical energy and activities. Where did you get those? Because I don't see them replicated anywhere.
I took games that I had played as a kid and I modified them to fit. I tried to eliminate as much of the aggression in games as we could to find games that appealed to kids who weren't athletic as well as kids that were. Sometimes I'm not sure where the games came from, to be honest with you. We'd be at a moment and I'd think, let's try this. And kids would go along with it and we'd try it and we'd modify it. I remember this one game we used to play. The game started by being called Elimination. And there was no way that I was going to have that game be called Elimination. Just didn't like the name. And then we called the game Solo. And then we called it Astro Ha Cha Cha because it was just kind of weird fun. And I think that was part of that spirit is let's find that way that we can play meaningfully, respectfully, so kids can, just get engaged and nobody gets hurt. I heard a story of how one time I threw a ball and the ball exploded.
I remember this.
And I didn't remember it until someone shared that story with me. And for a moment, I felt embarrassment that I might have thrown the ball that hard. And then I remembered, I only threw the ball hard when the kid across was capable of participating at that level. That I modified every throw I made or attempted to commensurate with the kid's ability to participate.
I think that one of the things that Terry was able to do was he was able to see you right away as to who you were. Even today, when we were sitting in a circle, he noticed that I was sitting on the outside of the circle. There are a lot of people around, but he right away said, Evie Klein, you get in the circle. Which was, definitely in the 5th grade year was sort of what I think he helped me realize that it wasn't just okay to be the good kind of quiet kid who did okay at school, but really to show being yourself, which Sycamore fostered the whole way through, but that Terry then helped people blossom to be their best. And even I think that then in Claremont, El Roble and the high school sort of were much more about you succeeded by assimilating. What you gained at Sycamore was still in there, and so then after high school, I think all of us, or I can speak specifically about myself, tapped back to that Sycamore self, and we're then able to kind of lead our lives in an interesting path.
Terry left before 6th grade for me, so I didn't get to finish with him. But I did get to be in 5th grade, and it was really one of the best years of school, of any school I've ever been to. I mean, I still remember it. It's Terry's, he is the teacher, but really he's a facilitator. He knows, he knew our personalities so well that he could just kind of he played us like an orchestra. He was like a conductor of the class. It was really rare and graceful the way he operated.
Throwing the ball at different speeds and strengths to different kids, because that really seemed to sum up the Sycamore experience. Is that possible today? Can teachers today still throw the ball that hard to students?
Well, let's maybe think about calling it differentiating instruction instead of throwing the ball hard.
Exactly, and that's where I was going.
It's if a teacher can't, then I don't think they're teaching. To me, a teacher is like a divine physician, bringing the antidotes and the augmentations of remedies to every kid. And would you use the same remedy for every illness? No way. Kids don't have illnesses, but they have different capacities and securities or insecurities or interests or fears. And really the job is, in my mind, is to inspire kids to be the greatest they can be. I mean, if you really want to learn, you want somebody to craft the experience to your interest. and then at some point the interest becomes all yours, and then you learn through some kind of mentorship, or you seek your own resource to learn. I think that's what I was always trying to achieve. Let's move you to a spot where you could learn for yourself and independently. I'm hoping teachers can do that today. I think there's ugly stuff happening in education right now, where No Child Left Behind has created this, era of consequence. That schools will be called failures, or classrooms will be called inadequate based on some arbitrary moment in time when assessment's done. It doesn't work. Really what we ought to be looking at is, where's a kid today? Where do they get to? What's the growth that takes place as a result of the teacher's impact on their lives? That's how we ought to be measuring. How does a teacher take a kid from right here, right now, and move them as far as they can go during this period of time? That's exciting. And if it isn't exciting for a teacher, you're in the wrong profession. Find another deal, because it isn't about making money, it's about moving kids to capacity. So I think it still exists. I hope so. That's the feeling I get about it today. It's no different than 35 years ago.